Petunia. I see you are playing cars. Can I play? I know! I have a great idea! Boom, 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 boom. It is I, the Moosaurus. Do you like my hat?
Sir Romanoff, a Moosaurus is a type of dinosaur, but it means mouse lizard.
Really? Oh, okay. I have an idea. Just need some blocks. Da, 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 da. Don't mind me, just doing some construction. There, look, it's a tower made out of jello. Would you like to knock it down?
No thanks.
Oh, come on everybody, heads up! The tower is going to fall. Heads up and mouths open. Bah! No? Okay. Ah!
Excuse me. Woof woof. Why are you driving round and round in circles?
Sir Romanoff, my car just wants to play by itself today.
Oh, okay, but doesn't your car want to drive to the park or something? Woof woof.
He can't. He's stuck here, just going round in circles.
Oh, okay. Woof woof.
Petunia, I see you are wearing your mask. You know, you don't have to wear it at home with your family. I know, but it makes me feel safer. Oh, are you feeling unsafe? Are you feeling worried? Yes, I'm feeling worried about many, many things. My thoughts just keep going round and round, all the bad things that might happen. Oh, Petunia, I'm sad you are feeling so worried. Thank you for telling me. Is there something you've done in the past when you feel like this that helps you feel better? Well, playing in the mud is nice. And last time I felt worried, I went and talked to Mrs. Robyn and she prayed with me. That helped. Oh, why don't we go find her? Okay.
Mrs. Robyn! Mrs. Robyn! Come on, let's go find her.
Mrs. Robyn? Mrs. Robyn? Oh, hi Petunia. How are you? Oh, well, I'm feeling worried about many things and I was wondering, can we talk about it? Oh, for sure. What are you feeling worried about? Oh, well, I'm worried about school in the fall and that my friends will all forget me and that I might get sick and that a tornado might suck up my bike or maybe an earthquake and other things like that. Oh, Petunia, those are a lot of worries. I'm sorry that you're feeling this way. It's not a very good feeling, is it? No. It makes me feel like I can't have fun because I need to get ready for all the bad stuff that could happen. I know what you mean. I feel worried like that sometimes too, Petunia. You do? Oh yeah. Sometimes I notice that I'm just focusing on all the bad things that might happen, and then I'm busy making plans to try to avoid them. It's kind of like being on some kind of wonderful boat ride, like a cruise ship, but I can't enjoy it because the whole time I'm worried about sharks and storms and pirates and the ship sinking. Oh, yeah. What do you do when you feel that way? Well, first I have to notice that I'm doing it. I have to catch my thoughts and look at them carefully. Is this thing that I'm worrying about actually true? For example, you said that you're worried about an earthquake. Well, we don't get earthquakes in Alberta, so you can just take that thought and throw it out the window. Oh, yeah. And you said you're worried your friends will forget you. We just talked to Wilbur yesterday, and he said how much he was missing you. Oh, yeah. So I catch my worries, I look at them, my thoughts, and I think, are these just lies trying to trap me, or are these actually a problem that needs to be solved? Oh, that's a good thing. And once I notice I'm worrying, I take 4 deep, slow breaths to calm my body down. And then I pray. And when I'm praying, I try to remember some of the things God has said in the Bible that help me know He's with me. Oh, like what kinds of things? Well, do you remember that day when Jesus taught His disciples to pray? After that, He was teaching them about trusting their Father in heaven. We could read about it in Matthew 6. Do you want me to read it to you? Oh, yes, please. Okay, here we go. It's in Matthew chapter 6, verse 25. Jesus taught them about the Lord's Prayer, and then later He said, I tell you, do not worry. Do not worry about your life and what you will eat or drink, and do not worry about your body and what you will wear. Isn't there more to life than eating? And aren't there more important things for the body than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They don't plant or gather crops. They don't put away crops in storerooms, but your Father who is in heaven feeds them. Aren't you worth much more than they are? Can you add even 1 hour to your life by worrying? And why do you worry about clothes? See how the wild flowers grow? They don't work or make clothing. But here is what I tell you. Not even Solomon, in all his royal robes, was dressed like one of these flowers. And if that is how God dresses the wild grass, won't He dress you even better? Your faith is so small. After all, the grass is here only for today, and tomorrow it's thrown into the fire. So don't worry. Don't say, what will we eat? Or what will we drink? Or what will we wear? People who are ungodly run after all those things. Your Father who is in heaven knows that you need them. Put God's kingdom first. Do what He wants you to do, and all these things will also be given to you. So don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble for its own. Oh, thanks. So what do you think Jesus is saying in this passage? Well, He's saying that God knows what everyone and every plant and animal needs. And that He cares for them. Yes. Where were you? Oh, I was just by the chair, listening. Okay. Yes, He knows what we need, and He'll care for us. But bad things still happen. You're right, Petunia. Bad things do still happen, because we live in a fallen world. Someday, everything will be made new again, and there'll be no more fear, or anger, or sickness. Never, ever again. Oh, that will be great! It will be amazing. But here and now, God asks us to trust Him, even when bad things happen. He tells us to pray and ask Him for help, and God promises He will care for us. Sometimes that care may mean that things don't go wrong. We might be protected from things we didn't even know were a problem. Other times that care means that bad things will still happen, but God will help us to get through it. And that's a marvelous promise. Do you mean that sometimes we are protected from things and we don't even know about it? Yeah, I think so. Let me give you an example. When I was a little girl, there was a lady in our community, and she was a Christian, and she was driving home from an event in town. She had a van full of children, and as she was driving, there was a great big semi-trailer truck behind her, and it was, everybody was driving pretty fast. And as she was driving along, whatever, and then suddenly she just sort of started getting this feeling that she should pull over. And she thought, well, that's silly. I don't need to pull over. But this feeling just wouldn't go away. And she thought, okay, well, I guess I'll pull over. So she pulled into this old gas station and parked and sat there for a few minutes. Finally, the kids in the back noticed they were parked because they were chatting and whatever. And they're like, what are you doing? Why are we stopped here? And she thought, I have no idea. And so she waited a couple more minutes, and then she just pulled out and continued on her way. Well, right around the corner, there was a hill, and she went over the hill, and there at the bottom, the huge truck that had been right behind them had crashed, and it had crashed into the huge truck that had been right in front of them. So her van had been driving right between them before she pulled off. And if she hadn't pulled off, her little van full of kids would have been squished, crushed right in the middle, and those kids could have easily been killed. But the kids had no idea. They were still chatting and horsing around in the back. They had no idea what had just happened. They had no idea that God had just taken care of them. Oh, wow! That's amazing. I think things like that happen a lot. I think God protects us from accidents and illness and disasters and spiritual things that we don't know anything about. And that's why God says, trust me. I am God. I am near. Oh, what an amazing story. So sometimes God saves us from dangers and we don't even know about them. But lots of times bad things do still happen. Yes, lots of times bad things do still happen. But God helps us get through it. Would you like to hear another story?
Yes, please.
Okay, here's an example from my own life. Last summer, my family went on a big long camping trip out to Vancouver Island. We were very excited and we had saved our money for like 3 years so that we could afford to go on this big trip. On the second day of traveling, our truck that pulled our camping trailer started having problems, and soon it wasn't working at all properly. We couldn't even drive it. So we went to a mechanic and he said, something's wrong with your engine. It's overheating all the time, but I can fix it. And so he fixed it and we went on our way. Well, the next day, the truck broke again. So we took it to another mechanic and he fixed it and we went on our way. And then the next day, the truck broke again. So we took it to a third mechanic and he fixed it and we went on our way.
Please don't tell me it broke again.
And the next day, it broke again. First thing in the morning. That was not a good moment. We took it to another mechanic and he said, this engine is no good. It would be very expensive to fix it. In fact, it would actually make more sense just to buy a new engine.
You can do that?
Apparently. So we would need to get an engine that was exactly the same as the engine we had, except newer and better. So we looked online and there was only 2 places in all of Western Canada that had an engine like that. Only 2 engines.
Oh, man.
And we were way out on Vancouver Island. And guess where one of the engines was?
Where?
It was in the town just 40 minutes away from us. Well, that sounds like a very unlikely coincidence. So the engine was right there where you needed it? Yes, it was. I believe that was God taking care of us. And the best part is now we have this story we can tell our kids and remind them that even when things go wrong, God is with us.
That's so great.
Jesus can bring light even into the darkest night. I always say that. That's right. Following Jesus doesn't mean that everything will go perfectly. Bad things will still happen. But it does mean we have someone who knows everything, has all the connection, and is never surprised when things go wrong. And this someone loves us as big as the sky. That's pretty awesome. And it definitely helps me not to worry. At least, usually.
And hearing stories about how God has helped you has helped me feel better.
Oh, I'm so glad you're feeling a bit better, Petunia. I wonder if the children at home and their families have any stories of ways that God has helped them. I wonder if they do. Here's something we could do to remember Jesus' teaching not to worry. Families could go for a walk and take pictures of the lovely flowers and the birds. And while they're walking, they could talk with their family, talk to each other, and try to think of times that God has cared for them.
Oh, they could even phone a grandparent or friend and ask them if they have a story like this too.
And if a family can't think of a story, they could ask God to give them one, and then keep their eyes open over the next year to see what God does. Oh, that's exciting! Now, Petunia, there's a Bible verse that might be helpful for you when you're feeling really worried. If you wanted, you could memorize it, and whenever you feel like your thoughts are just going round and round and round in circles, like a car, like a car, then you could pray this verse. Do you want to hear it?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay, it's from Philippians chapter 4, verse 5, and it goes like this. The Lord is near. Don't worry about anything, no matter what happens. Tell God about everything. Ask and pray. and give thanks to Him. Then God's peace will watch over your hearts and your minds. Oh, that's really nice. You know what I want to do? I want to print that verse up and draw pictures of flowers and birds all around the edges.
Yeah, and dinosaurs with cows on their heads.
Okay, you can draw the dinosaur and I'll draw the birds.
Okay, let's go do this.
Okay, come on.
Okay, I'll see you guys later. Well, before we go, how about we pray together? This is a repeat after me prayer. Dear Jesus, thank you for your promise that we don't need to worry. Thank you, God, that you take care of us. Please show us your care. Amen. Well, thank you for joining us today. It was really nice being able to share these stories with you. And don't worry about Petunia. I can hear her giggling upstairs already. Something about a Jello tower? I don't know. I just hope she doesn't eat the building blocks. Anyway, I hope you have a great week, and I can't wait to see you again. Goodbye.